sales plunging, or at least that's what this title of this video that I found last night. It's from CBS The News. They're saying that beer sales are not as big as they used to be. And this is Booze and Chill. This is the beer channel. I'm the beer guy. I feel like it's like my responsibility to find out what it is that's going on. Let's go ahead and jump into this and see, what's up. So I stumbled upon this video last night. Again, this is from CBS News, the news broadcast, and they're going to be joined by this gentleman by the name of Daniel Klein. He is an editor at large. That's what it's under, and he's from the street. So I guess some kind of news journalist or analyst or some sort. And yeah, they're talking about how beer sales not going very great. Let me go ahead and read you guys a little part of the description on this video. It says, industry trackers say 2023 was not a good year for beer, with sales falling 5%, and 2024 is expected to be the worst year of sales in more than 2 decades. And like I said, this is Booze and Chill. It's this entire thing started off with beer reviewing, right? So again, I feel a little bit obligated to see what is this going on. So let's go ahead and let's jump into this. Let's watch it together and see what the deal is.
2023 was not a particularly good year for beer sales, and 2024 is expected to be even worse.
Those are kind of words that you don't want to hear, right? Because it's like if you're a beer drinker like I am, it's like, I mean, it doesn't really affect, right? I mean, I'm still gonna go out and find something, but I mean, as far as like sales go, I mean, it's not affecting me. It's affecting the companies. But if it's affecting the companies, it's gonna start affecting, us, the buyers. So, I guess let's see.
U.S. beer shipments fell by more than 5% in the first 9 months.
Okay, so they're talking about beer prices going, not beer sales, sorry, going low. And then they show this here. They show Bud Light. And I don't know if y'all have been actually keeping up with me. For those of you who are new here, there's this thing that happened about a year ago, I want to say, where Bud Light did this business move and it completely affected everything. I'm assuming they're just going to be talking about Bud Light because that's like the only thing that I see there. But I guess we'll get a little more into that in a little bit.
Bud Light, which is owned by Anheuser-Busch, led the decline. It ended the year with sales down by 28%.
28%. That's I mean, I don't know exactly how much Anheuser-Busch would be making. I mean, assume they were making a killing, right? I mean, they were like number one. They were number one.
He was number one.
But then, like, again, they made this move, and it ended up really, really bad, guys. Like, so bad. I've talked about it in the channel. In fact, I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description down below. There was several videos when I was in the podcast where I talked about that. So I'll leave links in chronological order so you guys can get informed about this. If this is just about Bud Light, then I understand why the sales are plunging. But let's see what else I got to say.
The drop-off in sales came in part after a marketing partnership with a transgender influencer led to boycotts.
And that there was exactly why Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch in general was not doing so hot and are not doing so hot. So you heard it there.
The beer industry has also been hit hard by inflation, supply chain disruptions, and changes in Americans' drinking habits.
So they mentioned inflation, which, okay, I get it. Inflation completely messed everybody up, right? It messed up everything. I get that. But then she says America's drinking habits changing. Now, I'm no, I'm not into like, I'm not gonna be like the one to say, uh, you know, I know what's going on, but I mean, I don't know, but I can't, I don't know, I can't really put my 2 cents on that one. Like, I know, for instance, 2020 when the pandemic happened, I know for a fact, and because I live in Texas, when the pandemic happened and everything shut down, prices, I mean, well, sales for alcohol skyrocketed, especially in Texas. So I can probably safely say that Texas is not the reason why these are going down. Or maybe there is. Again, this has to do with the whole transgender influencer move, like they just mentioned. But damn, dude, that's crazy. Let's keep watching.
Joining us now is Daniel Klein, editor at large for The Street. Daniel, welcome.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not picturing the editor at large to look like that. That was kind of a surprise to me.
But let's talk about some of the smaller independent beer makers. Flying Fish is just the latest to file for Chapter 11.
The guy looks cool though. He looks very chill. But if he is somehow connected to this entire Anheuser-Busch thing, I can see that. I can see him drinking a Bud Light.
We've had a lot of these smaller brewers, and they all came up sort of before the pandemic.
I'm gonna have to stop him right there in his tracks. I mean, these craft breweries have been there before and after. They just, I think what happened. This is just like top of my head here. I think what happened was be and again this might go back to the 2020 thing. Just people started experimenting a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because again, the shutdown thing, and what did people have to do? Some, and besides, go crazy at home, or go crazy while being a little bit tipsy. You know what I mean? That's just one opinion. That's one opinion.
And there were just too many of them. It's not really changing habits or people drinking less beer. It's too many breweries.
Again, I get there's competition. I understand that, but again, this was Anheuser-Busch that we're talking about. I'm starting to see that maybe this gentleman here, what was his name again? Daniel Klein, might be kind of sort of trying to cover for Anheuser-Busch. But again, I also understand competition. But this was Anheuser-Busch. They were like the top light beer, well, not light beer, but just beer in general sellers. And I don't know, that's what happens when you make a really bad call, I guess.
And a lot of these breweries were beer only. So you would literally show up, have a beer, and leave. Some of them, of course, had food, but there's generally just a bit of a fad here.
The beer and food is a norm. So I'm not quite following him on that. I mean, it just sounds like Anheuser-Busch kind of like paid him to like say things like this, because I mean, again, their sales are plunging, their business is falling, their empire is fallen, and stuff like that, of that nature.
It's interesting, Daniel, as you're talking about that, because I feel like the shift in our society has been more to craft.
See what I mean? That's kind of what I was trying to say right now earlier. Just people, I partially blame the pandemic, because again, people locked in, going crazy, might as well get a little drunk and go crazy. But yeah, but it was I guess it was bound to happen, people opening up their horizons, trying new things, finding out there's more than to life than just light beer or Budweiser, Bud Light, stuff like that. It's a good and bad thing. It's horrible for Anheuser-Busch, but it's good again because, like she said, people are leaning towards more to craft beer, and craft beer, it's a lot of it's small businesses, so support local. That's what I'm about. So the locals winning, I guess.
But as you're talking about craft brewers being particularly hard hit, obviously inflation is part of that.
Did you notice his face gesture when she said inflation? But yeah, I mean, like she said, people are just trying new things, and she also said inflation. Again, it could be the inflation because inflation messed everything up. But yeah, it could be a combination of both. I mean, I don't know. Let's find out what Sir Klein has to say.
That these beer makers can try and deal with these increasing costs so that they can still provide services, given that it seems like so many people want artisanal craft brews.
And I am one for that because, as you all know, not much of a light beer guy, but I am very, very into the crafts. Okay, I would try a light beer if I've never tried it, especially if it's interesting looking. But yeah, I totally get that. The people wanting new things and stuff like that. But again, let's see what he has to say.
Largely, I don't think it's inflation. I don't want to downplay inflation. Beer at home is a trade down from beer in a restaurant.
That's another thing too. I've actually also talked about that in the podcast as well, and I'll leave a link to that as well. Giving you all homework. who, who do I think I am, right? Anyways, yeah. Drinking at home, and again, I've talked about this before. It is a lot less expensive. You go out, you buy, I don't know, 2-3 beers. It's as if you bought you can have bought I mean a 12-pack with that and drinking more at home, right? So yeah, there's also that. I'm a huge part of that. I'd rather drink at home because again it's less expensive. You get to drink more. And also because most of the restaurants, or at least here, not they don't have exactly the biggest or coolest beer menu. Some do, but yeah, let's see what else he's got to say.
You're going to pay $8 to $12 for beer when you're out. You can buy a 6-pack for that.
There you go.
Yeah, they'd prefer to drink, some artisanal beer, but they're just grabbing that pack of Coors Light or even something a little bit more interesting like a Sam Adams, maybe to save a couple of bucks.
There you go. He exactly what I just said. People looking out for something different, other than the usual or domestic or stuff like that. So that's kind of cool to hear, right? People are experimenting. I hope I was the cause of that, right? But maybe one can dream, right?
You have to look at all the other beverage choices we have. We didn't have hard seltzer at the level we do a few years ago.
Yeah, that's also true. There's like IPAs, for example. IPAs were invented not too long ago, and I want to say they started, I mean, in Cali, I think. So yeah, he is right about that. So again, this is new things coming, people wanting to try it. So yeah, there's that.
We didn't have the ready-to-drink product. You even have Coca-Cola, which for a long time avoided alcohol.
That's another one. And I've actually reviewed one of those also. I'll put the link in there too. There's too many links, I know. You don't have to watch them all. But yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, if you've been around since the beginning and you've seen it, you can rewatch it. Or if you're new, something to do. No, but yeah, Coke did join into the alcohol game. They're pretty good. They are pretty good, I will say. But yeah, it's all about just expansion, stuff comes out, new stuff comes out, and it just catches people's eyes. And I guess what I'm taking from this is Bud Light needs to step their game up, and like a lot, because after that business decision that they made, they have a lot on their plate. They got a lot of shit to do. They got a lot of stuff to work on.
If I could get a rum and Coke or a gin and tonic in a can and not have to make that, maybe I'm not going to drink a beer. This is being led by younger people.
Okay, so he's saying that the youngsters are part of that, and I agree, but I disagree because I mean, yes, the younger crowd might be trying out new things, this and that, and they are probably also making new things. Because I know they showed a White Claw, um, that was that became pretty big, but and you know what, I will agree with him on that part when it comes to like the seltzers and stuff like that, because those weren't even a thing, and then all of a sudden, boom, you know. So I guess he's onto something there too.
And I go back a little bit to in the 90s, we had the wine cooler, fascination where everybody was drinking those.
Does anybody remember the wine coolers? I think they were Zimas, something like that. Yeah. I was able, I mean, to actually try a few of those. They're okay.
You think
So
hard
we-
seltzer is like the Zuma of today?
Zima.
Zima, not Zuma.
There you go.
Zima.
My stage manager is totally embarrassed by my lack of knowledge. I was young then.
You had Zima, and
Sorry.
a lot of choices, and beer is an acquired taste. It's sort of like Starbucks. The majority of their sales are coffee drinks that don't taste like coffee.
Yeah.
I do say that a lot here in the channel. Most of the stuff that I try, it is an acquired taste. I don't know about the whole Starbucks thing, but I know a large percentage of people. The large percentage of people that I know are coffee drinkers, and they're like, they're open to try pretty much any of the coffee. So, but coffee and beer is different, right? Right, I think, because I know more people that enjoy different varieties of coffee than they would, them try like an IPA, for instance, because I know a good amount of people who don't like IPA. So, anyways, I'll shut up.
So when you have an option to sort of have I don't want to call them benefits, but the effects of alcohol without having to consume alcohol, I think a lot of people are going in that direction.
Alcohol in general will just always have consequences, but only if you do it the wrong way, the irresponsible way, or just have too much, which is what I mean about being irresponsible with it. I'll shut up again.
All right, Daniel Klein, thanks for taking us down memory lane there in the 90s. And Zima, thanks so much, Daniel.
So there it is, guys. There's a couple of reasons why they think the beer sales are plunging, as they say. But there's a lot of variables. I mean, like they said, it's the up and comers, the youngsters, inflation. People actually trying new things, being experimental and stuff like that. It could be anything at this point. But and then they mentioned Bud Light, and it's just like, I feel like they were just only talking about Bud Light because they were only mentioning Bud Light. And again, Bud Light has just been doing so bad, guys, so crazy, horribly bad. I read somewhere that people lost jobs that were working in Anheuser-Busch. There was the boycotting, and it's just a crazy year last year for Anheuser-Busch, man. It is so bad. Again, I'll leave the links in chronological order in the description of how it happened, what caused Anheuser-Busch to go just, I don't want to say bankrupt, but it's looking pretty gleam, that future there for Anheuser-Busch. But anyways, that pretty much sets today's video, guys. So again, if you liked today's video, go ahead and like today's video. Where am I going with this? Yeah, go ahead and hit the like button, or booze the like button right down below if you got any value out of this, and let me know in the comments if what you guys think, if you are familiar with Anheuser-Busch's horrible decision making. Leave in the comments what it is that you think that they messed up, or what they could have done to avoid it, or what they can do to avoid it. And let me know in the comments if this video almost scared you, because beer sales not going so well for us beer drinkers. But that is it for that, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. And remember, if you keep watching, I'm gonna keep drinking. See you guys in the next one. Peace.